Hello everybody, this is a new thing we're doing on Opps SMP. This is mainly for the viewers, because we never really recorded anything before Season 6, and so this is to connect the dots for anyone who never saw Season 1 through 5. And also, I'm here with Tuck Steve, his brother.
Hello, hello. This is me. I am the man behind the scenes. I do all the stuff for Tuck Steve, and yeah, so I'm here to talk about all the stuff in season one. As me and my brother, we play on the same account, and so we played together on season one. He'd play one day, and but for the sake of the timeline and my memory, we're just going to be combining each other. So, I'm just going to be referring to myself in season one and from here on out as Tuck Steve. So,
So we're gonna do Season 1 today, because that's the first season, obviously. Um, the people important in this season, there's more people who play, but these are basically the main characters are LP Russ, Doug Steve, Sir Scarlet, Munio McWall, Call Me Graham, Masked Moose, and Bonk.
and then let me outline the teams or the original teams as of day one. So, Tuck Steve, me, and Mnemonic Wall were on a team together. It was just the two of us. Then there was Palmy Negan and LP Russ, and I believe Sir Scarlet and maybe Bonk and Drippy Barra, but he isn't super relevant to season one.
And Masked Moose. And Bonk was on our team, but not really. Our team was the Schloyoings, so remember that. Call Me Negan and
Okay,
LP Russ's
so
team was. What was their team? It was Arcadia, I think.
Lannister, that was their name.
Oh, then
No, no,
you
no,
and.
we were Arcadia.
Okay.
No, sorry, like Steve and the Demonic Wall were at me. Yeah, we were Arcadia. Okay, so we all spawn in. It's in this desert basically, and in this desert there was this big mountain thing, and we spawned right next to it, and then we set off. So depending on which direction you could go, if you went to the left, you're going to an ocean and a what's it called, desert temple. You could go to a mangrove, or you could just keep going through a desert. um I believe that
There was a jungle.
me and Demonic Wall.
There was a jungle
Yeah,
too
yeah,
if
I
you
know
went
this
to the
jungle.
right.
Yeah, the me, you, Mnemonic Wall, and I think Call Me Negan went
No, he
to
didn't.
the Desert Temple.
No, you went to the desert temple,
Oh, okay.
and you went. No, why I went there? I was following him because I was giving everybody flowers because I wanted peace with the Schloyoings. And I gave you one earlier, but I was following Wyatt to get one.
Yeah.
But his dumbass fell for the freaking desert temple trap and died. And then you just pushed me in while I was looking down. And I went back to, and I spawned back. I spawned because I died. And I spawned,
Yeah.
and I saw Graham. I was like, oh, well, this guy's new. I don't know him. So I'm gonna give him a flower. And he didn't take it. And he just attacked me. So I was like, oh shoot, I might be cooked. So I ran and ran until I got to the jungle. And then I had to log off.
Yeah.
But I don't think he
So
found me.
yeah. So me and Mnemonic Wall, after the shenanigans with the Desert Temple and the flowers, we went over to believe it or not, more desert, and we stopped by this little village, and there was this big cave, and me and Mnemonic Wall, we just kind of camped in there for maybe like a quarter, maybe a third of the season. Um, we stayed there. We got some good stuff. Tried building a castle, and then eventually we moved out. And then I'm gonna give it back to you.
So basically, after I logged off, I kept running into the jungle, and eventually I found this little crevasse, or crevice. It's like a cave, but basically I decided that this was gonna be my base, because I wanted it to be like a water jungle temple, you know? Because that would be really cool. Yeah, I started making it, and eventually I got like some of it done, and eventually I just logged off for the day. That's the end of day 1. Now, the lead up to day 100, because we planned that we would all meet up at spawn and go to the nether on day 100. So, apparently, LP Russ, he grinded like for a really long time to get a diamond chest plate with an armor trim. And for
Only
some,
diamond armor on the server, I think,
yeah, it was
at
the
that
only
point.
yeah, it was the only one back then. And so he crafted it, and for some reason he took it into the nether, even though
Because on day 100, the nether was open. We all went to spawn, and we went together as a server. So day 100, go to the nether, alright? So we're all grouped up at spawn, and, we had this system, Opps and Cops. So, if we're, being friendly at spawn, we're cops, like, I don't know, just cops, because it rhymes with ops. And then ops, that's when we're like fighting, we're all enemies. But so for this event, we were all friends, because we wanted to, this was a big point in the server, because we were, using Better on Bedrock, a mod, and it kind of changed the nether, so we wanted to explore it together. Anyway, so we all walk in, with maybe the exception of Sir Scarlet, and we see this big basalt delta. The salt delta might be one of the worst biomes in the nether. There's just nothing there. There's no ancient debris or any like structures or anything. So that was pretty bad. So we walk in, we see in the basalt delta these things, these like big crabs made of basalt, and everyone's super curious, and so you go up to it and it starts attacking you. These dudes do like a lot of damage, and then you hit them and they don't go back. They have complete knockback resistance, and it's just a nightmare. And there's these thing called wisps, and these wisps are like little mini blazes, and they do like a little less damage, so you wouldn't think it would be that bad, but then there's 50 of them on you, and then you die, and then they set the ground on fire, and all your stuff goes away. And so people are just dying left and right, and basically, I think maybe just me, Tuck Steve is the only one that survived, or died, not once, but big part of the server happened. LP Russ, so LP Russ and Graham were on a team, and LP Russ and Graham were on a team, Lannister. But what happened was that for whatever reason, Call Me Negan decided that he was gonna kill, or maybe LP Russ had died, but Call Me Negan took LP Russ's chestplate, diamond fully enchanted, not fully enchanted, but enchanted diamond chestplate, and jumped in the lava with it. So that's not great. And so LP Russ quit for a while, but he came back eventually, and they split up. So that was that was the nether.
I didn't die because I didn't go in, because I was like, there's a bunch of people in there, and I know that we have a mod on, and I am definitely not ready for the nether right now. So I didn't go in, because I was like, either I'm gonna die to whatever amalgamation they put in the mod, or like, I'm gonna die to someone else. So I just like didn't go in. So near after day 100, Bonk's base was, because like Bonk was like on our team, we were like truced, I guess. But yeah, his base is kind of funny actually. He's like woke up one day and it was just like gone. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Graham. It was Graham who griefed his base. We found that out later. But he just like spawned in and like there was nothing left. It was like I don't even know, bro, because I wasn't there. But like his base was just gone. And after that, so Shield and Holden were like mainly the only people on the Schnoying team playing.
So then he moved in with you, right?
No, he's kind of just like a nomad, I guess. Um, but like Schnoying, the Schnoying team was now basically only Masked Moose and me, Sir Scarlet. So I told Masked Moose that, you know, we're kind of rivals with Call Me Negan's team. So I was like, let's just like steal from them, because Masked Moose found their base, which was only like 200 blocks away. It wasn't that far. So Masked Moose found their base, and I was like, you know what? We're a little bit rivals, you know? Let's steal from them. And I was like, don't steal too much, because then they'll be like, where the fuck is all my stuff? And they'll like, if they find our base, they'll be like, it was you. But eventually, he got too cocky, I guess. And was for some reason there. Well, Maniomic Wall was there. So he got caught stealing, and we all figured it out. And this like kind of made their team mad, along with Tug Steve and Maniomic Wall's team. Not only Call Me Negan. And
Oh wait, let me clear up something before you continue. So me, Mnemonic Wall, and Negan, call me Negan, we had like a weird thing going on. So basically, call me Negan was on our team, but he, I don't know, he was kind of he had like kind of a main character problem in season one, uh, and he was like, no, Lannister is his own team, and but like he just like lived in our base like half the time. So
yeah.
we were basically together, but yeah.
So they eventually caught Master Moose. And yeah, that enraged both Lannister and Arcadia a little bit. So, Schnoying, which is basically only me, because Master Moose, I don't think he really cared. We all got on call, except Tug Steve wasn't there. He was in New York, in a movie at the time. So we all got on call, and I was like, you know, I've always wanted peace from the start. So why don't we just like team up? Not team up, but like have a truce, you know? And they agreed to this. Manio McWall and Call Me Negan, they agreed to this. But then,
No, I
you,
was there. I was there. I was there. I after that I went to a movie.
uh, I think even, LP Russ was there too. Because he went to our base, because I told everybody where my base was. I was like, you know, if we're gonna be friends, I might as well show you what cool thing we're making. So yeah. But then I left the call. They stayed and played for a bit. Then after your movie, you took this part.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah. All right. So, I had watched a Complete Unknown. It's like a Bob Dylan, where I'm
Manga.
staying in New York, and I'm walking, and I'm on my phone, and I'm looking at my phone, and I see like a Discord ping, and I see Graham or call me Negan, uh, and he texts me on Discord. He says, "We're griefing the Shloyang base. Join Arcadia Private." And so I open it because, all right. So I honestly, Sir Scott might disagree with me here. I was I felt like I was decently kind in season one.
Yeah.
Like toward like the middle or like near the end, and I didn't really like know like how like what I was doing was super wrong because we have been we made servers in the past, and what we wanted was like big lore, big stories and stuff,
Yeah.
and it never really worked out. And so Opps SMP was a way so that we could get stories like this and show it to people.
Mhm.
And so I thought that Sir Scarlet would understand, because it's fun, it's
And well, at the
lore, it's for
at the beginning of the server, I remember this vividly. I was, you know how like there was a mountain like to the right of the big main mountain. I was under that,
yes,
and we were talking. I was going towards that big the trial tower. That's what we called them.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's one near
yeah,
spawn. I was heading towards it, and I remember it's like so like what are the rules? I remember saying this, and I was like,
right,
probably like no griefing and like stealing is like a gray area kind of. That's basically what you said. I remember saying that. So that was
yeah,
kind of like the
yeah, I
established
do remember.
rules. That was kind of like the established rules. Now you can continue.
Okay, so and also personally, I didn't know this, but so I think Mnemonic Wall, well, I think it was mainly Call Me Negan who decided this. So the idea was that the truce would only be broken if one of us breaks the truce. So obviously, Masked Moose had been stealing from Call Me Negan, and so Call Me Negan, I'm guessing, saw that as a way to break the truce, and that's what why he did that, or maybe he just did it because he wanted chaos, and that is something that he does want usually. But yeah. So anyway, I'm walking home, or not home, where I'm staying in New York, and you know, uh, Graham is just vivid. He's like he's real happy, and Mnemonic Wall, he's just kind of in the background watching. You know, uh, he'll put a sign there, here or there, but Call Me Negan's doing the big TNT and stuff,
Also, I was like,
and
I don't even know how they did it because most of it was like waterlogged. So
yeah,
they spent a lot of time doing that.
yeah, probably. The anyway, so and then I think this might have been like literally the last thing we did. Um, like the cherry on top, basically. I told Mnemonic Wall that he should make a chest. No sign, just one chest, smack down right in the middle. And honestly, okay, this was actually pretty funny. Like, despite how mean it was like actually like pretty funny. I told him to get a singular piece of coal, like one little lump of coal, get an anvil, and name it For Your Troubles, and put it in the middle of the chest.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah,
So
that was yeah.
then I wake up, I'm all happy. We got a truce. And I check Discord and like, what the fuck is happening? There's like so many messages. And there's so many people talking. And I'm like, what could possibly have happened? Then I see like Liam or someone say, Shlomo base was griefed. I was like, what do you want about, bro? There's no way. There's no way it got griefed. So I hop on, what do you call it? I hop on my iPad because I don't remember. I think my Switch was dead or something. So I hop on, and it was true. My base was griefed. And the first thing, you want to know the first thing I saw when I spawned in? It was literally the chest with For Your Troubles. That was literally the first thing I saw.
Oof. Yeah, yikes.
I was like, bro, who did this? So we had like a whole hunt to find who this is. I mean, you didn't say anything. I don't remember if you were there or not or listening, but like you didn't say anything about it.
Right.
You were like playing along with like who is it? So the main suspects were you, Maniumic Wall, Negan and LP Russ because they all knew where the base was. And that's all who I told. For some reason, Mass Moose wasn't one of the suspects, but I don't know. I really trusted him for some reason. That's the
Yeah,
first rule.
Matt Smith was real trustworthy, huh?
The first rule of Opps SMP is do not trust Masked Moose.
Oh my goodness, yes. So we have like in our Discord server, we have this thing called the Commandments of Ops. For like the longest time, there was only one rule, and it was never trust masked moose. Dude, that dude is like actually maybe one of the most like untrustworthy people like imaginable. It's so funny.
He's such like a small isn't innocent dude too.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but yeah, we didn't think it was him. So we eliminated LP Russ because like I only thought it could be him because I was like I didn't really know him that well, and he also knew where the base was. But we eliminated him because like why would he do that? He doesn't like really like PvP, destroying bases or anything like that. So it was between Manil McWall and Negan. But this dude, being like a dumbass, says earlier, like the night before, he's like, I stayed up all night making this massive sugarcane farm. And he also leaked his base cores while doing that. I don't know what he was thinking. But yeah. So he just like, yeah, bro, it's you. You were the only person online last night, according to the Realm Stories timeline. So after that, we kind of just like there was gonna be a trial for some reason, but like we never did that.
Yeah, it never happened. It never happened.
And after that, apparently, Masked Moose left the Schloewangs to join Call Me Negan, the main op, the person he was stealing from. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? There was no reason for him to do that. I had already lost my entire base and basically everything with it. And then I lose my only teammate. So I was pretty mad. But the good thing is they didn't find our valuables chest because I hid it. I don't think I even told Masked Moose where it was because I was like, nah, bro, I don't really trust you with something like that. I didn't really trust anyone because we had a bunch of diamonds. Somehow, I don't remember how we got so many, but we had a bunch. Before I left the base, the destroyed base, I wrote a note that said all my complaints for the server. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was mainly just that Negan broke the rules. We need to like actually have a written rules about what is actually happening. And I don't know. I don't really remember the rest of it. But that's basically what happened. So I left with all my valuables, basically everything I had left. I ran like thousands of blocks away from spawn. I went to like opposite side of the map. And then I got to low health somehow, and I was like, you know what? I have all this stuff. I don't really need it. So I killed myself with all my stuff. You know, maybe if you go back to the world, it might have not despawned, but it most likely did. So then I wrote the complaints, and before I killed myself, I learned that Masked Moose joined Call Me Negan, and that really infuriated me. So I said I was leaving the server for good. I said I was not gonna play. And I mean, actually, I don't really remember, but eventually I wanted to get my revenge on Call Me Negan, so I went back to his base, and he was building like something. I don't remember. He was building something, but I hid in the mangrove biome next to him. Eventually he saw me, but like he didn't do anything about it. He was just like looking at me and just continued building. But eventually we got into like one of the only fights that has ever happened. Like this was the only fight that like actually like was like really mattered and wasn't like staged or anything. Or like planned out. So we were like towering up, we were shooting each other down. I mean, I died a bunch of times because I had nothing left. But after like he killed me after 5 times, I towered up and hit him off his tower, and he died. And in like we in the server we had like a grave thing, so I basically just like destroyed his grave. So once he, even if he did spawn back in, he was like, yeah, he wouldn't have any of his stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
where he went after that, but that's what happened.
Okay.
Eventually,
Real quick.
yeah.
Wait. Let me say something real quick. So when what Sir Sky means by staged is so it's like some of like it's not like scripted. It's just like we like plan to have a battle based on like certain disagreements and just
Yeah.
whoever won the battle like won the argument. And also around this time is when Mnemonic Wall and I think actually LP Russ, he was like joined at this time around this point.
Mhm.
We had moved over to it was actually pretty close. So basically, there was this big mesa, and this next to the desert. We go past this mesa, and then this little oak biome, not oak biome. It was like a oak village, like a normal village. And then we go a little past there, and then it's close to this jungle, and then there's this little hill next to a beach and this big lake.
Yeah,
And
and they started to make like a hobbit hut, if I
yeah,
remember.
hobbit hole. So and then this was like giant. I mean, it was like the
I
biggest
know,
thing I'd
bro.
ever
It
built
was like
at the
it
time.
was really big.
And it was good too. Like I actually spent like a lot of time making it look good, and it had like a really nice vibe. And actually, if Mnemonic Walk could ever like find that, I'd like to look back at that base.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But anyway,
after
wait, not yet, not yet. And oh wait, no, yeah, that's it. Never mind. Continue.
okay, after I killed Kami Negan and like destroyed all the stuff, that wasn't enough. He did that like 2 times to me. So Master Moose was like, you know what? I'm sorry, bro. I never really liked Kami Negan. You know, honestly, if I would do it now, I would have said, hell no. You switch up on me, and then you switch up on Graham. Who are you gonna switch up again? Are you gonna switch up on me again? Like, bro, I don't know if I can trust you. But either way, I said, you know what, sure. And we burned down his base. And I don't really know where he went after that. And then, everything calmed down for a bit. And eventually, it was just me and Bonk on the world. During this time, I was still looking for your new base. So I went to your old base because I found it through the Waystone at Lannister base.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I went to your old base, and I remember it vividly. You know that there's like a trial tower next to your base?
Yeah.
Everything I remember involves a trial tower for some reason. But yeah, I was basically heading towards that. And like Bonk says, hey. And I was like, hey man. And like before this, we like did not know each other at all. Like we barely knew each other's existence. But I was like, I mean, hey, and he was like, so, do you know who destroyed my base? And I was like, it was probably Graham. He destroyed my base too. And he was like, yo, that's crazy, man. Maybe we should like team up. I was like, I mean, I guess if I'm gonna be in hiding, I better like do it with someone else, and they can cover for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
we eventually started to make a base, and if I remember correctly, so imagine you spawn in, to the left is the big mountain. If you go forward, you pass through the mangrove swamp. And if you turn left, and you're like 1,000 blocks away, you turn to the left, you'll eventually find where he was like making his base. So it wasn't too far from spawn. But we started to make a new base, and it was like in the side of a hill next to an acacia vine, like a plains. And we started making it in a hill. It was like boxes like of glass. It was kind of cool. It wasn't like the best thing I've built, but it was pretty cool. And we actually got pretty far. We eventually got to the parts of like getting villagers too. And we were collecting stuff, and eventually I was like, I've been hiding long enough. I need to find their base. And somehow, I don't know how, but Bonk figured out, or like you told him, that your base was like 3,000 to 2,000 blocks away from spawn. Oh, and I was like, that's all the information I need. And for some reason, I felt like a mastermind, even though it's like pretty simple. I would like go 2,000 to like 3,000 blocks away from spawn, and I just like circle around spawn. And I eventually found the village, like the plains village you were talking about, and you had like this dirt house, or it was like wooden or something. I don't remember. But there's this house, and I was like, I don't think Tug Steve would make this. This is like really bad.
Thing we made.
And you also made like a giant tower
Yeah, the
thing.
minigame.
Well, yeah, bro, you were like obsessed with that minigame in season 1 and 2. Because you made one in
Okay,
season 2
so
too.
basically, because I was making that giant theme park called Panda Park, but it never
Oh,
really
I
worked
forgot.
out.
Yeah.
It's this giant tower that goes all the way up to height limit, and once it's got like it's like 3 blocks wide, goes all the way to height limit, and the idea is you just need to get to the top. You can't use like Riptide or anything. With like
Are you cut?
loyalty, and whoever reaches the top wins. And me and Mnemonic Wall, we had been playing Minecraft since like in the same world together, or like we'd been playing Minecraft since we were like 5, like in kindergarten.
And at this time, I said I left the server, and Bonk was keeping me in hiding. And I found this village, and I was like, they gotta at least be like somewhere around here. I was so excited. So I kept looking around, and I burned down some of the jungle nearby, because I thought maybe this was actually your base. Because you guys had a bunch of villagers too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we did. We
so
had so many.
so I looked around, and I looked into the jungle, and I saw a boat, and I was like, hmm. So I went over to the boat, and I saw your hut, and I was like, oh my goodness. And this was also at like, probably like a 1 in the morning, so nobody was hopping on, so I was like, this is perfect, bro. So I looked around your base, it was pretty nice, and I stole like a bunch of stuff for myself, and I don't even know how, but somehow I got like a bunch of TNT somehow. I don't know. TNT is expensive, and I somehow got like a bunch of it. So yeah, I blew up
Yeah.
your base, and that was pretty fun. Yeah, and your base was like blown to smithereens, bro.
Yeah, it was.
And then I joined the Discord server next day, and I hear about like going back in time and stuff, and I'm like, what are these guys talking about? So I joined the server, and I realized,
Wait. Let me interrupt you real quick. So next morning, we see that our base had been griefed. Okay, so the add-on that we had added basically did this thing, so it did how you got to the end. So there were all these bosses in the overworld nether that you had to kill to get the ender eyes. To eventually get the server to get to go to the end. And once our server was griefed, obviously we were super distraught. I spent a lot of time. I spent like 10 hours or like a whole day making that base. And I also left a backpack full of my stuff because I was building the base. And we announced to the server, this was an excuse. This was obviously not like fair at all. We used the losing the eyes as an excuse to go back in time a few hours so that we could quote unquote get the eyes back. Because but honestly, to be fair, that it was kind of a good excuse because there were there's a limited amount of them.
I mean, I guess. But when I
Guys,
heard this,
and but it was completely an excuse.
so when I heard this, I was like, what? It was like that one scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where he says, what? Now I know it
Oh
sounds
yeah, to go to
bad.
Living Planet. Yeah.
That was
All right,
basically
all
me.
right. I know it sounds bad.
So yeah, I was really mad. I was like, bro, so when your base gets griefed, you go back in time. But then when my base gets griefed, you don't like care at all. Everybody was outraged. We didn't. It's like we needed to write down rules because like the rules were like everybody had their different like image of what the rules were. And eventually, they said they were gonna move again, but it was too late. The season just ended like that.
Basically, yeah. So
Well,
that's the end of season one.
yeah, we'll probably do season 2 soon, but
Yeah.
not season 1 was like the most had the most lore.
100. Yeah. On it. Well, honestly, some stuff happened more, and I think honestly, other than season two, this one is going to have like the least amount of information. But I think if we did this one earlier, that it would have had like 10 times more stuff purely because it wasn't more than a year ago.
Yeah, because this happened like a year ago, and we have like because Mnemonic Wall, that bum, won't give us the world download.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was so we made this live event. It's on YouTube. We're probably gonna make another POV because the person who recorded it did a bummy job. But so for the live event, it was basically like a like Opps SMP rewind. It was like a Fortnite live event. We like we made up this new thing called the Op, and we went back in time to each season to find something to stop it. And we wanted to get season one and two because at the time Mnemonic Wall owned the server or the realm. That's how he could go back in time. But now, of course, Sir Scarlet owns the server. So we couldn't get the world downloads for season one and two. But so we asked him in like late December, and he said, "I'll give it to you later." And then early January, we say, "Okay, can I have it?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll finally give it to you." He tells us that his dad threw away the computer that had the or he put it in like he disconnected it because they got a new computer, and it was all of the stuff that had season one and two. And so he's like, "Get back to me in like a month, and maybe I can give it to you." And we're like, "Oh, okay,
Didn't you
whatever."
throw
And
it
then
away
yeah,
literally the day he called us?
yes, 30 minutes. He put it in the closet 30 minutes. Like I kid you not, it was so like annoying. And okay, a month later, he plugged it in, and he tells us that the day that like 30 minutes bef- after we called him, it was in the closet. That his dad had thrown away the like the disk or whatever, the storage, the like physical storage file in the computer because it was half corrupted in the trash. He threw it in the trash. And so we had to remake season one and two. And so that's why we can't like show y'all the everything from season one or two.
No, bro. It would,
Yeah, so
it would be so
we had to like
cool.
remake everything for the live event from season one and two.
Yeah. I mean, at least we have the seed for season 1.
Yeah.
We can probably find the
We have the
season
one for
2
season two,
seed.
but it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, because most of the things in season 2 were not built in like the side of a hill or something. But yeah, that's basically season 1. Hope you guys liked it. You know,
One, yeah.
see you guys later. Dadgummit.